Good morning and happy Saturday. My name's Michelle and I'm with Olive and 2U Studios. I'm here typically every Saturday morning at 9:30 Eastern Time. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell. That way you get notifications every single time we go live right here. And if you like what you see today, whether you're watching live or you're watching later, give me a thumbs up. It really does help out the channel, gives me a boost, makes me feel good. So happy Saturday. I see our Yarn to Use here live this morning. Deb and Tara and Julie and Sharon and Kim and hi Judy and Martha and Cindy and Katrin and Lonnie and Belinda and Deborah. All the people showing up, turning up, all right here. We have fun stuff to get to today, plus a little tease. I got a little tease for you. And I'm trying to do it in a way that doesn't bite me in the behind. But I'm really excited about some things coming down the pike. But welcome to you. Today we're gonna, to you, see what I did right there? To you, I'm just saying. Do y'all still laugh when I do that? I still laugh, but then I'm kind of corny. I'm a little hokey sometimes. So today we're going to talk about multiple things. If you have gotten your newsletter today, you know that we're going to talk about an exciting trend alert happening right now on Ravelry. Monica has seen some videos on YouTube about it as well. And so we thought this would be a great time to talk about kind of trends in the knitting and crocheting world, how you can kind of follow those and be in on those if you want to be a trendsetter or a trend follower. And this particular one is not quite so trendy or fad-like, if you will. And then part of what we're going to do today is do a little dive into Ravelry, just a little tidbit, giving you a little bit at a time about how you can maximize your use of Ravelry, that treasure trove of patterns and information and all of that, as we talk about sort of this trend alert and how you can look for those things. And then we've got some products that have opened their doors wide open again for the first time in a really long time for one of them. And we don't do it very often. In fact, I was talking to a Yarn to You this morning, and she said, I think it might be like 2 years since you've done that. And that is very possible. But the good news is lots of people are deciding that they want to get in, and you don't want to miss out on it. So hi, Michelle. Hi, Valera. Hi, Diane. Hi, Deb. Did I say hi to Deb yet? I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a couple last chances that you have to get in on things before they kind of fly away and off your radar. And then a little bit about the Super Sweater Make-Along that's coming up August 9th. I've done something to give you kind of a hand up if you're kind of at the end of that and you want to make sure and get in on it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Fiberside Summer Crawl. Last Sunday was my presentation. Phew, it's done. It was fun though. I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. So all kinds of things to get to. So I want to start out with our trend alert. I don't know how many of you, and let me know in the comments if you're watching live or if you're watching later, also put it in the comments. How many of you kind of pay attention to trends in the knitting world? I know some of us like to consider ourselves kind of more of the classic variety, not so much of a trendsetter or a fad watcher. I have certainly gone more down that road. I think as I've gotten older, I've become more enamored with the classics in a lot of aspects of my life, right? So whether it's cooking or it's garments that I buy in stores or if garments that I'm knitting, y'all know that I went through kind of my neutral era there for a while. You know, we kind of sometimes gravitate towards the classics because they're comfortable, they're known, they're easily recognizable. And it turns out that right now in the knitting world, that is what's happening. Now, what do I mean by that? And there's a little detail in your newsletter about this as well. Classics tend to be garment shapes that we easily recognize. So for example, a t-shirt is a very classic garment shape. An A-line skirt is a very classic garment shape. So they are shapes that we easily recognize. And then oftentimes we tend towards classic in the sense of solids or patterns that we recognize. So polka dots would be an example of a classic as opposed to an abstract that's kind of new on the scene, right? So in knitting right now, trends are moving that way. And the way that they're doing that is that there's a lot more designs coming out right now that feature solids or tonal solids in classic shapes that use tiny details to differentiate them. And I know that in the hand-dyed world, there is always a lot of like variegated colors, speckled colors. We love all the eye candy, all the colorways that are interesting and grab our eyes. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's definitely a place for that always. But sometimes it's nice to have a solid or a tonal solid so that you can really enjoy the features or details of a pattern. And right now, that's what's happening in the knitting world. So as a small hand-dyed company, and again, I was chatting with a Yarny You who said that's actually the case for a lot of yarn shops that you just walk into off the street. Sometimes a lot of yarn shops don't have sweater quantities easily available in all of the range of colorways because it's, from a business perspective, it's difficult to stock all of that from a cash flow perspective and all the things that business owners have to think of. But one of the things that we've done at Olive and 2U, and a lot of other shops do as well, is offer you the ability to make special orders. So you can choose a colorway and we're going to dye it up on your preferred base and in your preferred colorway. We've always done that, and it makes it easy for you to get sweater quantities. And the good news is we've always been able to turn those special orders around relatively quickly. So that's good news. But one of the things that you have in your newsletter today is super exciting. And that is we've gone through and curated colorways that right now are on the shelves in sweater quantities, in particular bases. So you definitely want to check that out. There are links in your newsletter. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't more sweater quantities on the shelves, but these are the ones that we've highlighted. And we've gone a step further, and we've actually offered you multiple patterns in both knit and crochet, I believe, for these colorways to give you your next project on a silver platter. So you don't even have to make a special order for a colorway. It is in stock in a reasonable number of hanks that would probably be a sweater quantity for most of us. And that makes it easy to go ahead and order it, get it on your needles as quickly as possible. So that's one of the things that we've done this week is kind of curate those colorways that are available right now, not through special order, but on the shelves that you can get. And there's multiple bases. So it is across multiple bases for you. So whether you're a fan of DK or you're a fan of fingering, we have something for you. So take a look in your newsletter, do a deep dive in there and take a look, because sometimes we do have sweater quantities on the shelf. But one of the things that I want to do right now is I want to go in and talk a little bit about Ravelry and how you can keep an eye on that. I know Belinda says that she watches trends, and Lonnie says she follows what's hot now in Ravelry and her favorite designers. That's a great way to do it. I see Mary loves those tonal solids. I do too. And Judy as well. They're part of the same tonal solid club. Good morning, Jennifer. Good to see you. And Cindy Titus has recently marked her stash as a sweater quantity if she has 3 or more skeins. And that is so smart. That way you don't have to go through and count them or wonder if you have it. You can see it right there in whatever stash management system you utilize, whether it's on Ravelry or an analog notebook or however you use it. So I think that's super, super smart to do. So that's the trend happening right now. And I think it's really cool because I'm seeing some really interesting stitch designs that are coming out of that. Because if you're using variegated colorways, or if you're using highly speckled colorways with yarns that, with designs that have like cables or they have lots of details, you're going to lose those details. I mean, that's one of those basic principles of pairing your yarn with your pattern. And Lonnie also says she watches the Yarny Yous and see what they're sharing. So that is a great way to do it and a great use of the community. So really quickly, what I want to do, I did a little short video this week, and I'm going to take you through it, live narration. So we'll see how this goes, of how you can find some things in Ravelry that are really helpful for this. So I'm going to go ahead and run that right now and talk you through it. So this is just me logging into my Ravelry account, and you're going to see in a minute, it's going to give me a pop-up that tells me, yes, my password. I know. So if you go to Ravelry, I always come to this page first. It's the first one that opens up for me, but I go up to the top and click on patterns. It's kind of, you can't see it really well, but you can see on the pattern landing page, what's hot right now. That's what Lonnie was referring to. And that's going to tell you what is getting the most popularity, what is most popular right now in the Ravelry system. What's getting the most hits? And it is ranked. And you can see here on this page that even some of the patterns that we've listed in the newsletter this week are right from here because they are what's hot now. And there's multiple pages of this. So you can see I'm scrolling through and then advancing the pages. And then you can click each thumbnail and look at each particular pattern. Then also what's kind of neat to look at is right here, debut patterns. These are patterns that are by designers who are brand new. And it's always good to look there too. Designers have to start somewhere. And I think it's always nice to give a new designer kind of a hand up and purchase a pattern, knit it, make a project page, and help a girl out or a guy as it is. So you can see the patterns here. Not very often because these are debut patterns. You're not going to see a lot of projects. But it's still nice to see what's emerging. And you can also detect trends here as well, because sometimes designers, when they're starting out, will try to hop on new trends. So you can go through and see what sorts of patterns brand new designers are putting out. So that's just one area. You can click in, of course, to this pattern here, and you can see there's just, there's no projects yet, which is interesting because I would have thought the designer would have put theirs up, and she probably will. But you can click in and see if there are any projects yet and how that's going and get a sense of what's coming out into the new design space. So I think that's a lot of fun as well. So what's hot now, you can see, and you'll see pattern designers sometimes when you see them sort of promote their pattern on Facebook, they will, it helps them out to go look at it, to go purchase the pattern. That starts to raise their rank in Ravelry, which gives them more visibility. And that's how that what's hot now comes about. So you can see what's actually happening with designers. So I know a lot of you have said over time that, Ravelry is a really great resource, but you're not really sure how to maximize the use of it to get what you need out of it. So I thought that little tip would be a nice little tip. So I'm trying to add these in periodically so you can get kind of a whole view of how you can use it. I'd be interested to know in the comments, let me know if you'd be interested in a full-on sort of Ravelry workshop that we could take you through all of the ways to use Ravelry so that you could get the most out of it. I'd be curious to know if you'd appreciate that. I can put that together, absolutely, because it is a fantastic resource. And I'm always amazed by the number of people who are knitting and crocheting who don't realize all the ways that you can use Ravelry, from the very specific searches all the way to something as simple as the what's hot now to let you know what's happening in trends. So some of the patterns that are in your newsletter this morning, as I mentioned, are right there in the what's hot now, because it's part of that trend that is happening. So it's a great way to choose your next pattern. Now, we've got the Beautifully Basic Tee. It's what I'm wearing today, Beautifully Basic Tee. And we've got that knit along coming up beginning August 9th. Very excited about that. Many of you have jumped on that bandwagon. It's a great beginner project, as I've mentioned. Now, I kind of went outside of what I said. So we had kits available, and there was a time period that you were able to order your kit, and we promised we would get it to you in time to start the knit along. Now, there's a couple nice things about our knit alongs historically in the group. First of all, you can start whenever it's convenient for you. Second of all, we don't require a finished object in order to be prize eligible. The only thing you have to do is use olive and 2U yarn. And that's pretty easy because most of us have ginormous stashes, in a good way, of olive and 2U yarn. So whether you purchase a new kit online or you use stash olive and 2U yarn, it doesn't matter. But what I've done, because I've gotten steady on since I took the kits off the website, I've received lots of messages from folks saying, I can't find the kits. I really want to get in on this. So I've gone ahead and made the kits live available on the website. I made them live and I announced in the Yarn I Used they were live, and then I was going to take them down. And then I did that. And I said, they're closed. And then I got 2 more messages. And I thought, okay, let's do it this way. I went ahead and made the kits live again, but you're not guaranteed to get your yarn now by the beginning of the knit along, because Sherry and Terry are just 2 people and they can only dye so much, but they're working hard. So you'll get your yarn in time during the knit along. It just won't be at the beginning. And as again, you can start anytime. So there's no detriment to you doing that, but those kits are available again right now. But I say that to say the Beautifully Basic Tee is a great example of a very classic pattern. And the nice thing about it, I've mentioned this before, is that you can certainly customize it to meet your needs. If you need to do maybe some stitch customizations. Maybe you like a little hip shaping. You can do that. If you want to add stripes, if you want to add, anything that you want to do, if you want to make it a fade, anything that you want to do to sort of customize it, you can do that. And that is very much the same for some of these sort of classic patterns that are out there right now. So we do have that knit along coming up October 9th. I'm sorry, not October, August 9th. And that's going to be held right in the Yarny Use Facebook group. If you haven't already joined, I encourage you to do that. There is an official thread already up for that knit along, so you can start posting pictures of your yarn choices. Or if you decide to cast on before August 9th, that is perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that. So very excited about that knit along there. My yarn is here, and I meant to bring it over to show it to you today. I am so excited about it. I got my shipment from Sherry and Terry, and I might cast on a little early just to get a head start on my next Beautifully Basic tee. I am delighted. It is Amber Solstice. It's a beautiful colorway. So excited to start that project. So Lydia's here from somewhere over Southern Virginia. I guess she's maybe flying this morning. So welcome to you. Okay, next things up that I'm so excited about and are being met with a great reception are the Soxy U Club is open again. And it's been a hot minute since the Soxy U Club has been open. Absolutely. So Soxy U Club is a really set it and forget it, easy sock set club. Basically, you sign up, you register, you build every month, and you get brand new colorways shipped right to your door. Now, they're not exactly exclusive. So what I mean by that is every now and then a Soxy U colorway will eventually make its way to the shop. That does happen, but I will say it happens rarely. So for the most part, they're exclusive colorways. And I was talking to somebody the other day and said, I have not been getting those colorways myself, but I'm going to have to change that because I am falling in love with the beautiful colorways that they're doing. I don't want to give any spoilers. I need to start getting them though, so I can show you a couple weeks afterwards. Because especially this month is just a killer. It hasn't shipped just yet to you, I don't think, but it'll be out soon and it is beautiful. So the Soxy U Club is just super simple. It's a sock set. You can choose. Man, I am not talking well this morning. I promise you, I'm drinking like diet blue tea. You can choose whether you want a fingering sock set or whether you want a DK weight sock set. So if you love to do DK weight socks, we've got that for you, or regular fingering weight socks. We can absolutely do that for you as well. And the beauty of it is you sign up, start getting your sock sets, and if at any time you need to cancel, you can do that. So we don't hold that against you. If you get a few months and you're like, I'm not really feeling this, then you can absolutely cancel. But what you can't do is rejoin all the time. That's the trick. So the doors are open right now. So if you think even remotely that this might be for you, now is the time to subscribe. The link is in the show notes and you can go over to our website and do that. And then you're all set up because you won't have this chance again. This is only going to stay open about a week. Then we're going to have to shut the doors. Or if we get to too many number, we have to shut the doors because it has to be manageable for the dyeing. But once you cancel, you don't have the immediate chance to rejoin. You have to wait until the doors open again. So when in doubt, I say join now. And then you can manage that subscription as you go. I'm about to sneeze. Michelle says she loves hers. I love hearing that. I know you crank a lot of socks, Michelle. And Kim wants to know if my yarn for the BBT, I really am going to sneeze. It's terrible when this happens on camera. Kim wants to know if my yarn is an orange color. It's kind of a rusty orange. Yes, it's beautiful. I love it so much. And Mary Nielsen made a really, really good point that you can actually go buy one of the featured sweater quantity sets that's in the newsletter this morning and it'll ship right away. Absolutely true for the Beautifully Basic tee. So all the options are there for you. So the Soxy U Club is open. I've refreshed the logo a little bit. I like it. So if socks are your jam or your jelly, as I say in the newsletter, then this is the time to get in because this is going to pass. And there's been a hot minute, over a year, I think now. Could it be even 2 years? Somebody said, and I think they might be right. So go ahead and get in on the Socks to You. The link is in your newsletter or it is down below. Next up, the next subscription I'm going to talk about. I'm so excited about it because it's going so well and we've already got some action in the private Facebook group, is the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society. We got people signing up left and right for that. Some new yarn to use coming out of that as well. A lot of fun there. So that is a quarterly subscription. So it's not every month, easy to manage, quarterly subscription. We tell you the book that we're going to focus on so you can get it however you like. Some of our folks like to get it from the library. I listen to Audible books. Some of our folks purchase it, read it on Kindle, go to Barnes & Noble and buy it, whatever you like to do. So we're not going to give you the book. You don't pay for that. You get that however you like. But then we give you discussion questions and you get a fantastic box each quarter based on the book with all kinds of fun goodies, including beautiful yarn based on the book. And once again, we give you the choice of what base you would like to have. And there are multiple bases you can choose from, and it is a mix of fingering or DK bases. So I just announced the book in the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society exclusive club. And that we've announced that book and people are starting to get it. One of our club members said she just finished that book last month, but how cool is that? She already knows the book. She'll be all ready for the discussion questions when we do our Zoom book club. Now, I want to mention something really quickly. Facebook did a number on me this week. I went in to set up the exclusive Facebook group for the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society. And I must have not noticed, because Facebook is always changing things, I must not have noticed a toggle switch, so my fault. And it automatically sent invites to all the yarn I use, like almost 3,000 yarn I use. And I was like, wait a minute, this is an exclusive club. So what I did is I shifted that over to a group that's interested in Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society. See what I did there? Very crafty. And then I developed another group called Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society Exclusive, and it is invite only. So if you're in the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society and you were in before, say, day before yesterday, you should have received an invite to the exclusive group. If you just joined yesterday or last night, as some did, I'll get you your invite later today so we can get you in the club and you can start participating there. I plan to go live in there soon as well. So it'll be a lot of fun in the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society. And we're going to explore the books together and see if we like them together. And I talked about this a little bit on Thursday in the Yarn to Use Facebook Live that I do on Thursdays. You know, one of the beautiful things about a book club is that you not only get to learn about the world around you, but you get to learn about yourself. You get to learn what you like, what you don't enjoy, and how you feel about certain genres or certain writers or certain topics. And I think that even if you don't enjoy a book, you come away with something. You've definitely learned something from that. And that's one of the things that I particularly love about it. And then Lonnie makes a comment here too that totally is right along those lines. Be open to mystery. It can push you to use some colors that you might not normally select. Plus, it's good to have color pops in your stash. So that's kind of along that same philosophy. Sometimes people are reluctant to do a club like Socks to You or Spin Me a Yarn because they're like, oh, I don't like purple. What if I get purple? I don't like yellow. What if I get yellow? But Lonnie's point is completely accurate. If you don't like yellow and you never purchase yellow, then you've never been stretched to maybe try to use it in some way, right? But if you get it, then maybe you'll stretch yourself, or maybe you'll do a stash swap with somebody or give it away as a yarny gift. There's always uses for colorways that we don't exactly vibe with, but sometimes it can push you out of your comfort zone. And I use that yellow example because just, what was it, about 2 years ago, I grew up hating yellow. I didn't like yellow on me. I didn't like yellow in front of me. Like, it just was not my favorite color at all. And then I found like a green yellow that just, there was something about it that grabbed my attention. And so I got a sweater quantity and I knit a sweater, and it's the Sarin. Was it the Sarin? I think so, with the roll top turtleneck. And I love that sweater. So sometimes it's nice to kind of force yourself out of your comfort zone. And a mystery club is the perfect way to do it, because maybe you wouldn't have the guts to like pick something off the shelf, but if it lands on your doorstep, there is a challenge in front of you. The gauntlet has been thrown down. So, and like I mentioned, there are always ways to de-stash yarn or get rid of it if you don't love it. So I appreciate those points. Those are really, really, really good to know. That is fantastic. So good information to have. So the clubs are open. Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society will be closing this week, and then Socks EU will be closing probably just a couple days after that. So it's not going to be open very long or until it hits its limit. So something to keep in mind. Now is the time to do that. I want to go ahead and roll with WIPs because we've got some pretty things to talk about. And then I've got a few other last chance opportunities for you that you don't want to miss out on this week. All righty. So Luann is working on her coup sweater. I wish I knew what pattern that is. I need to send her an email and ask her what the pattern is, but she's getting ready to divide for the sleeves. So maybe by this morning she has. I love the color that she's using there. It looks so good. And she's hoping to wear that in Scotland with us when we head out in September. Next up, Judy Conk, her bamboo shoots. So she said the crochet is going slowly, but slow and steady wins the race. And I know a few of you are on the slow and steady bandwagon right now with that beautiful scarf, but she's getting the surface crochet done. And I love that colorway. It's going to be so, so pretty. Gail, she started her Seashell Pullover. That's by Vanessa Ewing. The links to these patterns are down below in the show notes. That is looking so good. She's at the very beginning, which is always an exciting part of a knit project. And Lonnie is even more at the beginning. She is doing, I think it's Hiss and Vinegar by Casapinka. Oh, yep, there it is, Hiss and Vinegar. And she has chosen her colorways. This is a great example of posting kind of the excitement as you're starting a new project by going ahead and posting your colorways as you get ready to cast on. I think that's fun because to me, that's a big part of the fun in doing a project is actually kind of choosing those colorways. Next up, Jamie, she's doing Knitmas in July 2025 with Nomadic Knits. The knit along, she's using all olive and 2U yarn. And look how pretty that is looking. She said she's taken liberties so she can use 4 contrasts. She couldn't choose between the 4 to get the 3, so she's using 4. And I love that. You always have the opportunity to modify things. And then we've got these beautiful mitts, the Mica Mitts, that pattern was written by Lauren Nelkin. And Lonnie did those in the Snowpocalypse, a mystery colorway again on Rawlings that she got when we had the mystery colorway for Snowpocalypse. Look at those beads. And I dare say, if I can be so bold as to say it, that colorway is not showing up in all of its beauty in that photo. But I know those red beads are absolutely perfect and popping with that colorway to really make it pop. I think that is so super cool. I love seeing your projects. And as we've learned today, a bunch of yarn use like seeing them because we get an idea of what other people are knitting. We can see how they're doing. And the beauty of that is that in the group, if you hit a snag, not a literal snag, but like a metaphorical snag, like you're not sure what to do next, you can always post in the yarn use and there's always help available. I've seen people helping people at 2 a.m. Sometimes you can't sleep and you're up and you hit a point and you can't sleep and somebody's always in the yarn use to help. So that's a really, really neat thing. Oh, Kim has a really good suggestion. Use color you don't love away from your face. And then Lydia says, pops of color are always great in accessories, those you wear around your face, exactly that face. And then Michelle has a totally different tact when it comes to those colorways. Oops, that was not the right thing I wanted to put there. Michelle, there we are. Her orange turns into gifts for her niece. So you probably have people in your life who like particular colorways. And so you can absolutely use them in that way. So all the discussions, a little Ravelry dive today, a little talk about colorways. Now, something else is opening. We haven't actually started the Christmas in July festivities yet in the Yarn It Use, but we've got some beautiful Christmas colorways coming to us. They are winging their way to us right now, and you're not going to want to miss those. But the 2025 12 Days of Christmas and 8 Nights of Hanukkah calendars are open again for a very limited time. So those always typically go open when we're doing our live openings for the preceding year. So when I was doing the Christmas and Hanukkah openings in 2024, we had the pre-orders for the 2025 calendars at early bird pricing. That went away with lots of warning. And now we've got the 2025 12 Days of Christmas and 8 Nights of Hanukkah calendars available to you now. This will be your last chance to get in on those calendars. So you get a beautiful array of exclusive colorways for those, as well as goodies. And we do a live opening, typically live. Last year I cheated. I recorded last year because I was out of town. I was up here in Maine scouting houses. So I recorded it last year. But oh yeah, I promised to tell you about that on the live today, and I will. But we typically do a video, let's say a video opening for every day of the 12 days and the 8 nights, so we can discover the colorways together. And it's a lot of fun to meet together to do that. And they always have a theme. This year it is a literary theme, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Woven in words, and then some other things for the other calendar. And their calendars are different. And many times people order both because they are different. They're different yarn colorways and they're different goodies. So that's a lot of fun. And that was actually a tip that was given to me by Yarn of You, who one year said, oh, are they the same or are they different? Because I'll order both. Nope, they're different. So she ordered both and she got all the goodies, all the yarn, and it was a lot of fun. So here's what I did last year. I promised you in the Yarn of Yous I would tell you. So last year, Jim and I made a quick decision to take off to Maine to do a little house hunting. That's when we were in the middle of researching whether or not we wanted to move to Maine and coming up and looking at houses. Yes, in the middle of winter. What a great time. But it gave us an idea of what winters were like up here. So what I did was I was a little panicked because I didn't know with our travel schedule and our house hunting schedule if I was going to be able to be live every day. So I took like 4 sweaters to work one day to Needleworks. Giving up my secrets, it's after the time. And I recorded the 12 days and the 8 nights right there at Needleworks, one right after the other. And I did costume changes in between. Now, that's nothing new. A lot of creators that you watch on YouTube or Instagram, they batch create content, but I felt a little weird about it. But that's what I did. And one of the Yarn of Yous reached out and said, you know, your hair didn't change much. And I'm wondering what happened. So some of y'all are pretty observant. That's what I did. I batched those openings, and I don't intend to do that this year, but you never know. If we end up going away, it could happen. But it was still a lot of fun. And I finished. The weird thing was there was Christmas Eve service, and I was serving at the church for Christmas Eve service. And I got done with the last video just in time to run in the back of Needleworks, put on my regular shirt, run back to the sacristy at the church, throw on the robe, and get ready to go out to the Christmas Eve service. It was quick change, let me tell you. Super, super quick change. So it's kind of a funny thing. Julie's asking right now how the pups are doing. That's Sadie and Cooper. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Cooper got a little digestive issue that was keeping us up at night. He was getting up like every hour on the hour to go outside. And we got him through that with good chicken and rice, homemade doggy food. And now Sadie has it, but she's doing better. So they're adjusting. They're definitely getting there. Yesterday, you'll appreciate this if you like hearing about my move to Maine and the whole, I think, year it's going to take for me to adjust. Yesterday, I was driving down a town street, a residential street with houses on either side. And there was a beautiful, looked like a young doe that walked across the road right in front of me. She didn't run across like I was in no danger of hitting her. She was just moseying across the road. She was moseying a little too fast for me to have a chance to pick up my camera and take a picture or a video, but just moseying across. And there have been several moose sightings in the ponds and lakes around here. Long Lake had, I think, a mom and a baby in it recently. There have been several moose sightings lately, which is kind of interesting because our real estate agent was like, oh, moose are around, but you won't see them. Like, people never see them. This year, there's definitely been some moose sightings right around our area, as well as bear sightings. So it's been kind of kind of interesting to see all that. And I need to take some photos of my tomatoes. I've got tomatoes on the plant. They're not redding up yet. They're just still green, and a pepper and some other goodies. And my basil, I had to pinch the flowers off my basil so I can kind of force it to do more leaves. But we're having a lot of fun. And today I intend to go out and get some brand new fresh blueberries, because blueberries are in season now, and do some fun things out and about. So we're having a good time in Maine, getting used to everything, having all the fun, and definitely getting more settled in. I'm not ready yet for the studio tour, but every day I'm making a little bit of progress. We will get there. And you'll know that when the studio tour is ready, you'll be like, yeah, she did a lot of work. You can appreciate it more then when I invite you in the studio. So that will be a lot of fun. So quickly, Ship Club is open now, but it's going to close, I think, on the 16th is what I put. So you've only got 4 more days to order Ship Club. Ship Club means you pay a fee and then you get free shipping. You don't have to pay for shipping anymore throughout the entire year. Now that applies to subscriptions and it applies to one-off purchases. So I can add it to your subscriptions, or if you newly subscribe and you've already bought into Ship Club, you can use your code right there for that as well. And then right now you also get a free download that has the club code on it, so you can set it next to wherever you typically order your yarn. And I'm going to be getting out either a sticker or a magnet or a little something something to members, so you'll have that handy as well, so your code is always available to you. But you don't have a lot of time to get into Ship Club. Now is the time to do it, and shipping prices are going up astronomically, which I found out after I set the price for Ship Club. But that's okay. I'm honoring it. We're going to do it, and you've got Ship Club available to you right now, but don't delay on that. As I mentioned, the Fiberside Summer Crawl is going on strong. You can still get your all access pass, and the link is in the newsletter. And it was a lot of fun last week. I won't lie. I was glad it was done, because I was a little nervous about my video, and it was a lot of work to put it together, but Monica did a fantastic job in the video. We both made appearances. We kind of threw it back and forth to each other between Florida and Maine. It was a lot of fun. And we have picked up several new Yarny U's in the group, and I'm so excited about that. And, you know, I on kind of my list for today, I was like, you know, let everybody know about new Yarny U's coming in, you know, welcome them. And I thought, I don't even have to say that, because the Yarny U's do a fantastic job of picking up on new people and welcoming them and kind of showing them the ropes. I know sometimes people are really good about even explaining how on Thursdays you can kind of sneaky peeky and see all the new things. Even though I go live on Thursdays, they're typically up before I go live, for hours often before I go live. I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes they're even up like on Tuesday, but I don't draw attention to them until Thursday. So you all are great about kind of bringing the new Yarny U's into the flock, getting them acclimated to the ethos and the culture of the Yarny U's and what goes down. People ask, like, what's a fiber fairy? What's a birthday club? And you all are fantastic about bringing everybody in and kind of acclimating them and educating them. So thank you for that. I didn't even have to put it on my agenda. I just know that you do a great job. And we've got quite a few that are sliding into the group right now, as well as new subscribers to the podcast here. It's always helpful when you share the podcast in your knitting groups. We are limited as business owners to how often and in what groups we can post things. We try to maximize that. But when you all post and share our products or share our podcast or share our website, it says way more than when we do it ourselves. And so that's a way that you can absolutely help support the business without paying for anything. You can just help to support us by sharing us with other Yarny folks across social media. And I'm so very, very grateful for that. Lydia, we hope you have a good landing. So thanks, Valera. That's very kind of you to say. It was a lot of fun. And I know many of you actually messaged me behind the scenes and gave me some encouragement for that. And I'm always so grateful for that. Y'all mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. So here's the thing. I talked about this a little in the Yarny U's, and I'm hesitating to talk about it now, but y'all know I can't keep my mouth shut except when it's super important. If you are in Florida, mark the weekend right around September 4th. There is a possibility I might be there at Needleworks for an event. I'm just saying it's possible, no promises. But if you'd like to be available for that, then you might want to like pencil in the possibility of something happening at Needleworks that weekend. Let's see, let me think. Like the 5th and the 6th, I think is when it would be. So September 5th and 6th, if it happens, that's when it might happen. So there might be a sighting of Olive and To You on the ground. I mean, Needleworks is always there. We are still a Florida company for sure. We ship out of Florida. Everything's out of Florida. But there's a chance. I told y'all I'd be going back for events, and I think it might happen in September. And I have something mangled here. I don't know. It's kind of mangled in front of me. I don't know if y'all are going to recognize it. This got mangled in the most interesting of ways. Do you know what that is? I'm just asking. Do you know what that is? It just got mangled. I got to figure that out. But our little something something might have to do with a little something something. That's all I'm saying. I'll let you figure it out. I promise if we do a little something something, there's always going to be a virtual component to it. But mark off your days. And yeah, we've got something fun in the works. I'm just saying. There's always fun things in the works. And I told you I'd be back for events. So this might be the first time. No guarantees, but it's a strong possibility. I'm just saying. So I'm hoping you'll come. If in fact it happens, I'll give you plenty of notice, and looking forward to hopefully seeing some Yarny U's right there in Florida on the ground again. All the fun things happening. So I think I might cast on my Beautifully Basic tee this weekend. I've got to wind my yarn. Have any of you started casting on your Beautifully Basic tee? Are you getting like a head start on the knit along? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. Don't forget, if you signed up for Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society, look for that invitation. I know some of you have joined just today. I'll get those invitations out to you by the end of the day so you can get in the Spin Me a Yarn Literary Society exclusive Facebook group. It's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget to sign up for Soxy U, because it could be another 2 years before the doors open again, and you can cancel at any time. Thank you so much for showing up here. I'm so grateful when you all show up. I'm so grateful to those also who watch after the fact. Don't forget, shop is below. You can click right below here on YouTube and do some shopping, or you can head over via the links in the show notes. I've also listed all of the patterns that I know about that we went through in the WIP segment, so you can find out those and use Ravelry. Use your Ravelry. If you haven't signed up for an account, I really strongly encourage you to do that. And then maybe I'll put a little, several of you said, yeah, you'd like a Ravelry workshop. So I'll work on putting something like that together. Rachel, thanks so much. It's good to see you too here. Hi, Cindy and Faith. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, I really do encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you can be sure to get all of the notifications, and be sure to join the Yarny U's, our super fun Facebook group. No drama, no politics ever. It's fantastic. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the Yarny U's. Bye.